Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I'm Miss Lisa, and this is my YouTube channel where we talk about all things math and science, or at least all of the things math and science I want to talk about. What we're doing today is a calculator lab that is called a linear regression. If you are doing the class with me, it's found in your book on page 299. But even if you're not doing the class with me, this is one of the most important things you can learn how to do with your calculator. As my daddy would say, it will save you a world of hurt. Okay, now the way your book teaches it is not very practical and it's not very important. And let me explain to you what I mean. Okay, so what it is here we have a set of data. And we can put it in our calculator and it can give us the dots and graph it for us. And then from that graph, the calculator can figure out a line that best fits those points. Now in reality, you don't do this very much. In reality, this is a science thing. And in science, we use computers now, like everybody else in the world, right? So in reality, you don't use this much. Now, with me teaching homeschoolers, not everybody had computers, and they did have their calculator, and in physics last year we did use this. But normally, I teach science in public school, and we have not used that all year this year. So, here it is November, we've never used that. But I did last year when I was teaching a physics class for homeschoolers, so it's out there. But that's not what it's good for. What it's good for is it will do the other problems that where you have to get a line. Now, this is a linear regression, meaning that this is when your points make a line. We're not talking parabolas or any weird other shape. We're just talking about if this is a line. Now your calculator will do the regression also for the weird things. It's just not a linear regression, it's a different one. It could be a quadratic equation. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it, and then I'm going to show you how to use it for what you really want to use it for, not this. And it's huge. It can help you on the SAT, the ACT. It can help you on college tests. If you have to show your work, it'll do it for you. But if you have to show your work in college, then you can use it to check your answers. And that's really useful on a test too. All right, so this is what we do. We're going to turn our calculator on. It's that button right there. There it is. Okay, I've got stuff in here. I'm going to just hit clear to clear it out. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to go to that button that says stat. Sounds like you're in a hurry. Stat. And I want to edit, so I'm going to hit enter. And I get these lists. Now you might have something in yours like me. If not, you're good to go. But I've got to delete the stuff out of mine. See that button delete? I'm going to push it and get rid of this stuff in my list. Now, be real careful. If you get your little cursor up on the L1 thing, you can delete that too. You can restore it, but it's better to not delete it in the first place. Where you restore it is that first page. Oh, I got a bunch of data in here. You restore it on the very first thing when you push the stat button. There we go. Now I'm getting rid of it all. Okay, now mine probably looks like yours. Okay, so I have this list of data. These are ordered pairs, and if you remember, ordered pairs go in alphabetical order, X's before Y's. I'm going to put all the X's in for my first list. So I'm going to do 38, 28, like that. And all you do is you type them in. Oops, let's delete, hold on. You type them in, and when you type them in, they show up down here on the bottom. So 38, it's on the bottom, and to bump it up there, you hit enter. See, there it went. 28, 56. I usually am doing this with kids in the classroom, and they're always faster than me. And they have to wait on me. So I'm sure you're going to be waiting on me too, typing in all this. You do it on your calculator too while I do it on mine, and we'll get it together. All right, so there's my X's. Now I'm going to arrow over. I'm going to use my arrow keys here and arrow over to list 2, and I'm going to put in my Y's. 62, 46, 102, 88, 36, 113, 69. I know this is exciting TV, isn't it? It's a great video. All right, now we got them all in there. Okay, so now we want to be able to get a line from this. So we go back to stat, and we go over to calculate. And what we want to calculate is number 4, linear regression. This is going to tell me the equation of the line that best passes through here. And it asks me, do I want to use X for list 1 and Y for list 2? Yes, I do. So then I arrow down to where it says calculate and hit enter. And it thinks about it, and da-da, there's the answer. Okay, so this is our regular slope-intercept equation for a line. Usually we say y equals mx plus b. They say ax plus b. So a is your slope. I don't know why. Okay, and so they tell us that a is 1.49. So if we were going to write this equation, and b is 3.84. So if we wrote the equation, it would be this: y equals 1.49 if we rounded it off x plus 3.85. Now, what are these R things? The R things are telling you how much your data actually fits a line. The closer they are to 1, the more it fits. So mine is 0.95, so it fits really nicely an equation. Now yours might not have your R's on. If your R's aren't on, what you do is you go to catalog. See where it says catalog? And that's the second of 0. And then you arrow down to where it says diagnostic. You can also just hit D, I think, and I'll jump to it. Let's see. Yes, haha. See D painted right there? You can just hit that and jump to it. And where I want to go to is diagnostics. And see how it says diagnostics on? That's what you want. And if it doesn't say diagnostic on, you select it and you could turn it off. Okay, let's see if my diagnostics are still on, or if I turned them off. Stat, calc, linear regression. Yes, use list 1 and 2. Yeah, so I turned it on again. If yours was off, you could turn it on. Okay. So, anyway, that's the diagnostics. Now, the next thing they want us to do is they want us to graph it. They want us to graph our dots and then make it draw the line through it. Okay, where you do that, there's 2 different ways to get to it. First, you have to write down your equation to get the line. So, I've got my equation written down. I'm going to go to y equals, and I'm going to put in my equation 1.49, and then that's your button for x, plus 3.85. There's my equation. Now, the other thing is I want the dots on there too. There's 2 ways to do that. I can go arrow up to plot 1 and turn it on, and that turns on your dots. Or, let's turn them back off again. Or you can do second y equals, and that'll turn on your dots. Plotting points, you know, that's math talk for putting dots on it. So I'm going to hit enter to select 1, and I'm going to turn it on by hitting enter. I want dots, I want to use list 1 and 2, and I want my dots to be red. All right, that all sounds good. Now, the other thing is, this is not, if I were to graph this is not my standard window. See how big those numbers are? So I need to go mess with the window. So I'm going to go over here and hit window. I don't have any negative numbers, so I can make my x minimum 0. My x maximum, I look at my x's and I see, what's the biggest one? And it looks like it's 77. So I'm going to make it 100. And you just type on top of it. You don't delete. Scale's 1. Y minimum, I don't have any negative numbers. I'm going to say 0. And this, for y's, my biggest number is 113. So I'm going to make it 120. All right, so now I should be able to graph it. Let's give it a try. There's the dots, and there goes the line through it. Yay! All right. So that's what you would do in science. You get the best fitting line. It's called interpolation. That's your fancy science word for it. You can extend your line. That's called extrapolation. But that is figuring out what line goes best with these dots. Not very useful. Okay, but this is what it's good for. I'm going to go back. I'm going to clear everything out. I'm going to clear out that. I can leave my plot on, I don't care. I need to change my window. I'm going to change it back to standard. I'm going to go to zoom standard 6 because I just want a regular window. And I want to go to stat, edit, and I want to clear out what's in there because I want to do this again, and I'm going to show you. This is a big thing of how your calculator will cheat for you. It's not really cheating because they let you use these calculators, but this is a big point of how the calculator will get the answer for you. So that's why we pay all that money for this calculator, right? We want it to cheat for us. All right, so this is what it'll do. If you look back on page 298, you were told to write the equation of a line that passes through these points. And back in the chapter, they show you how to do that. If you were going to do it 1985 style, you would do the slope equation and get the slope. You'd take one of the points, put it into your slope-intercept equation, and you would solve for b, and then you would put it in. That is a bunch of work, and it's very easy to mess up and get it wrong. So I'm going to do it with my calculator instead, and this is the point. You only need 2 points for this thing to tell you what the equation of the line is. Those 2 right there is what I'm going to use. So I'm going to go back to my calculator here. Oh, I'm getting a glare. The sun's coming in. Maybe y'all can see it. Can y'all see that? Let's see if I move it over here. See if y'all can see it better. There you go. Now you can see it. Okay, so my 2 points, it's 2, 5, and 6, 4. Now the tricky part is you have to put in x's first and then y's. So my x's are 2 and 6. And my y's, I arrow over for my y's. My y's are 5 and 4. Okay, so I've got my 2 points in there. Oops, I did it wrong. I'm having to lean over weird, trying to keep it from having a glare on it. Let's try that again. 5, enter, 4, enter. All right, now we've got it. There are my 2 points. Look, the sun went away, so I think I can move it back over here. All right, so now I'm going to do my linear regression. I'm going to say stat. I'm going to calculate. I'm going to go down to number 4, linear regression. I'm going to tell it to calculate for me. And it's going to tell me my line. It tells me that my slope is negative 0.25 and my b is 5.5. So if I were to write that down, let me get a pen over here. I'll write it right here. Okay, so my equation is y equals negative 0.25x, and then it's plus 5.5. Sorry, I'm writing so messy. I'm having to look through the calculator. The phone, 5.5. Okay, now in math, the teacher does not like you to have decimals, but you probably know that 0.25 is 1/4, but say you didn't know that. Then what you could do, quit off of that screen, go back to your regular math screen, and you can put it in negative 0.25. And we want our calculator to tell us what that is in fractions. Go to the button that says math, which is ironic because they're all math, right? Aren't they? And number 1 is arrow frac. That means turn it into a fraction. So I hit enter, and now it says that it's going to turn it into a fraction. I hit enter, and there it is. It's negative 1/4. So a better way to write this is negative 1/4 x plus, and my other one is 5.5, and I want to turn it into a fraction. So I select that, and it tells me that it is 11/2. So 11/2. Okay, and now I go check my answer, number 43, and done, I got it right. This is so much easier than doing it the way I did it in 1983. So you need to learn how to do this. Now, what about, so that's if they give you 2 points, how to use your calculator to cheat. What about if they give you, like this one, where they give you a point and a slope, okay? So the point is 6, -3, and that's x and y. I want 2 points. I want my calculator to do it for me. My slope is -2. Which means it's -2 over 1. And remember, it's rise over run. That's y over x. So it's change in y over change in x. So I can get another point by doing what it says to these points to find my new point, to find the change. So I could say x is on the bottom. So I could say 6 plus 1 is 7, and I can do y is on top. -3 minus 2 is -5. So now I have another x and another y, and I can do the equation. So let's do that one. Okay, so I'm going to go back to stat. I'm going to go back to edit. I'm going to clear out what's in there. Let's delete. Come on, why aren't you deleting? Delete, delete. There it goes. Probably because I was pushing the wrong button. There we go. All right. So now I'm going to put in my new x's, 6 and 7. And my new y's, -3, -5. Okay, now I'm going to go to Stat, Calculate, Linear Regression. Do I want it to use list 1 and 2? Why, I do, thank you. And it tells me that the slope is -2 and the b is 9. So remember, our equation is y equals mx plus b. And remember, m is a. So my equation is y equals, I'll look over here, -2 x plus 9. Okay, that's using my calculator. And look, I did it. Dun-dun-dun. Check the answer, I'm right. That is so much easier than that. So I show you in the video for 5.2 how to do it 1983 style. But I love this 2020 style. This is so much more fun to use my calculator and do it that way. So it will do all the 5.2 problems for you. It will do all the 5.3 problems for you. Anything like this, your calculator will cheat for you and do it for you, which is just awesome. And I want you to know how to use your calculator to do this, because when you're in the pressure situation of taking the SAT or the ACT, if you hadn't practiced this, you'll get there and go, oh, rats. Miss Lisa said there was a way that my calculator could do this for me, but I don't remember. And you'll just go blank. You've got to practice it. So use your calculator. You paid a lot of money for that calculator. Use it. All right? Math is great. Come back next time and we'll learn something else. See ya.